Yo, y'all know what it is. It's the Garden of Buildings Majestic. It's my podcast. It's the G1 Truth Podcast. Let me put y'all on game right now. Y'all know my campaign. Y'all know my slogan. I go everywhere. I eat everything. I talk to everybody. Guess who I got in the building? If y'all don't know, let me put y'all up on game. This MC, world renowned, definitely has put out crazy classics over the years. Definitely locked in tune to the hip hop culture. I had a good opportunity to have a straight, solid build with the brother. I wish I would have caught more of it on video, but it was such a great conversation that we just had to sit and build. So I asked the God to give me a couple of minutes so that he can rap with y'all, the people, and let them know about his campaign and everything he got going on. So for those that know who, I got the God Opio, one quarter?
1/4.
One fourth of one of the illest groups coming out of the West Coast in hip hop history. Souls of Mischief is in the building. What's up, God?
What's up, man? What's up, world? This is your boy Opio, Souls of Mischief, Hieroglyphics. We out here, man. For sure.
So before we even get into it real quick, because I know we ain't got a lot of time, you've been shutting it down all over the place. So let's just get right into it. I want to start off by saying I really appreciate you coming on the platform and letting me have a few words with
you.
It's
my pleasure, brother. It's my pleasure.
You know it means a lot to me because, like we talked about before, I was incarcerated at the time when y'all first came out. So it was a little bit more of a job for me to like tap in. You really had to tap into the culture and really had to understand hip hop in order to kind of like find you guys and then be able to listen, because it's not like y'all was getting played on the radio. You know what I'm saying? You had, or at least where I was at, you had to have a love for the music. So I want to start off by asking you a quick question, because I remember when you guys first came out, you know what I'm saying? Y'all was coming under the banner of, the whole Hieroglyphics crew. So when I didn't know no better, I would have assumed that you guys are Hieroglyphics, which you are. But from what I understand, Hieroglyphics has a lot more deeper roots to it.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So can we get into the early beginnings of Souls of Mischief and the whole Hieroglyphics campaign?
Yeah, for sure. So like, I went to junior high school with my man Casual.
You know Big shout out to Cass.
Big shout to Casual. So like, that was like the first rapper that I had ever tapped in that was like, I'm all about rap. And he was basically the best rapper in my whole junior high school. You know what I mean? Like, he battled like an older cat that was considered the best rapper, and he won. You know what I mean? So he pulled out his rap book, was showing me like, yo, I'm into this. And so he really encouraged me to take rap more serious, because my circle of friends at the time was kind of like, we were friends and we shared a lot of common interests. But when it came to like my passion about specifically MCing, but just more broadly was just the whole culture of hip hop, graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, everything. You know what I mean? Like, they would kind of be like, man, why you care about that shit so much? You know what I mean? Like, who give a fuck type shit? You know what I'm saying? Casual was like the first dude that I met that was like authentically, genuinely into hip hop. You know what I mean? And so like, he's in Hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying? And he knew A plus, he knew Tajay, he knew Dell. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people that he knew that I didn't know. So kind of like, but we all lived in the same neighborhood. So just to break it down, it was like, Hieroglyphics is Souls of Mischief, A plus, myself, Opio, Tajay, Festo D. Then you got Casual, you got Pep Love, you got Del the Funky Homo Sapien, you know what I mean? You got Domino, you got Teray. So like, our big bruh is Del the Funky Homo Sapien. His cousin is Ice Cube. Ice Cube broke through, he got into the industry, kicked the door in, and then he went back and got his cousin. Then Del was like, yo, if I get on, I'm gonna bring y'all with me. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what he did. You know what I mean? So it's like, Casual went to elementary school with Dell, and so if you look at the family tree, we all knew each other from like elementary school, junior high school, and then we built and got into it from there.
So it's very difficult as a group staying together. I've noticed that you guys, much like, say, for example, De La Soul, God rest in peace to, you know what I'm saying, Dave and shit. Y'all managed to keep it together. Is that difficult, or is it just y'all naturally cohesive to just remain friends and then still do joints together, albums?
Yeah, family first, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the way that we get down is it's a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like we share a passion for hip hop culture, and if you go back in the days, it was like it wasn't really cool to be a rapper. You know what I mean? It was cool to do other shit. Really, to be like an athlete or something like that. I was like what was cool. So like doing music and having dreams and aspirations of being like a hip hop artist was almost like a pipe dream. It's kind of like, why are you even thinking about that? You're kind of playing yourself. You'll never get there. Especially we from a small city, Oakland. We didn't really have a lot of an example of somebody that could make it big like that. The guy that we had was Too Short. You know what I'm saying? Like Too Short did his thing, but it was stylistically is very different from what we do. You know what I'm saying? But Too Short is one of the kind of like a pillar of someone that we looked at that was like, man, this is a foundation of like what we do. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why Hieroglyphics even linked up is because we all had this kind of like passion for hip hop in a way that we were almost outcast from everybody else.
True.
We got love for our brothers and all that, and everybody got love for us. But in terms of people was trying to look out for us. Like, man, why would you want to like put all this energy into rap like that? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's like the best idea to do. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of like came together in that way to where we wasn't really listening to what the outside world was saying. We all believed in ourselves and we could just see the talent in each other. It was like, oh my God, I'm looking at Casual. Casual is still one of the illest rappers right now.
Man.
So when I met him, and I was like in the 7th grade, he was like 12 years old. He was ill then, and he was ill before I even met him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. That's where we come together.
That was going to segue into my question, because we talked earlier about how you got a lot of groups, or you got a lot of artists that the artist may be a dope MC but may have some whack beats. There's an artist that got some banging ass beats but some whack ass rhymes. Y'all motherfuckers was always well balanced with dope rhymes, dope beats. And I can't point out one MC that I can't have the conversation with somebody and say, well, this MC out the group was better than this one. Y'all was all equally lyrically sharp. And was there a technique to that, or is that just the natural progression of rhyming with each other, or how did that exactly, you know what I'm saying? What was the flavor? How did that come about?
I think it has a lot to do with like steel sharpen steel. And like I said, we got to always go back to Dell the Funky Homo Sapien. He was kind of like a prodigy in a way. He is a genius, and he's a little bit older than us. You know what I'm saying? So like he always encouraged us to just kind of be like our authentic selves. And like, how do you find your own style? How do you find your own voice? And that's what hip hop taught us at the same time. So what we hearing is from like whether it's G rap or it's Easy E or it's Too Short, it's like, don't copy my style, don't sound like me. I don't want to hear nobody biting my joints. I don't want to hear nothing. Pause. You know what I mean? But it's like, so Dell, being like the elder statesman, was like encouraging us, like, oh, now I'm seeing something in you to where you like actually able to be like, you showing your individuality. And as when someone else is doing something, they kick some bars that's crazy, or they make a beat that's crazy. It was like, oh, so now I can see myself in my comrade. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you got the skills to do that, and they're encouraging me to get better. So that's kind of like how that came together. You know what I mean? Like it was more of a friendly competition than anything. It wasn't like we was like competitive, like, nah, I'm better than him and this, that, and the third. But it was like, man, it was inspiring to see my brothers just do incredible things, write dope rhymes, make dope beats. And so that made me have the confidence to be like, well, maybe I can explore some other, maybe I'll say this vocabulary word that I never heard nobody say, or maybe I'll use make my voice sound a little bit like this on this point here and there. You know how that goes. If you a hip hop dude, you know what it means.
Absolutely.
So it's more about trying to be original, but at the same time, we was very fortunate that we had a crew to like inspire one another. So that's kind of how that all came together.
Did you guys have any input in terms of A Plus making the beats, or y'all just let A do his thing and just be like, yo, do your thing, we just gonna rhyme over as long as the shit is hot? Or how did that work?
I mean, like that's another thing. Like A is like, he made one of the greatest hip hop beats of all times, 93 Till Infinity. But he didn't just make it overnight. You know what I mean? He learned how to use the machines. We used to have, me and A Plus used to go to the Onion Lab, you know what I mean? And had to like, so this is in like South Berkeley, I think, you know what I mean? Catch the bus, save our lunch money or whatever, and go in there. And so we only had a specific amount of time. I think we was paying like $5 an hour to be in the studio. And in those hours that we had together, so we each got $5 for, $20. We got 4 hours, you know what I mean? So A Plus like make the beat. We didn't write our rhymes in the studio. We like, you know what I mean, have our runs prepared, then we do like a little mix or whatever. So we have like maybe like 2 or 3 hours to do that whole thing together. If we can skate out of there after that, then we might be able to like go to Jack in the Box, get some, 99-cent tacos or something. You know what I mean? So like in the same way, like A Plus is just like a genius, man. He just got he has that mentality of like he can hear something that everybody else can't hear. So he'll go to the record store, buy $1 record that everybody done already heard and sampled and did whatever, and then pull something out of there that nobody else saw. And I think that's hip hop. I think that's also to what we were speaking earlier. Like that's a part of just what it is to be like that's black culture, to kind of take something out of nothing and turn it into gold.
Yeah, I call it something old, something new, something new.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah. So where we at? 30 years later, y'all niggas are still out here shutting shit down. Y'all got a new album coming out.
Yeah, it's an EP.
An EP,
the EP coming out. Yeah. Just I don't want to get people confused thinking that, they about to get a whole, 10 joints. But I mean, we got a lot of songs, we got a lot of music. Hieroglyphics got a whole album. Souls of Mischief is coming out with an EP, but we also got more music in the chamber. So we're just gonna keep hitting people with music. But the new project, the new Souls of Mischief project called Clean Getaway, September 25th. And it's gonna be fire. We performed a lot of joints tonight, so I'm excited about it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
How do y'all maintain the same energy years later, still be able to come on stage and kind of like just rip the whole shit down and still kind of bring the same presence that you brought when you was much younger? Because we got to be honest, we all a little bit older now.
Definitely.
So that's something that you barely not seeing. You're not really seeing cats with a lot of energy moving around on stage. They might stay in place or, you know what I'm saying, little stuff like that. But y'all definitely, one thing that I like to see out of an artist, and that's why I always got to kind of give it up to Diddy, is that if I went to go see a show, it was going to be a show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So coming out here, City Winery, ATL, you know what I'm saying, Souls of Mischief, y'all gave us a show. Y'all ain't just come up here and just spit out some rhymes.
Yeah.
There was just some very organic elements that we saw, from stage presence to the DJ to just individual MCs. And then more importantly, brothers like you that definitely like reach out to the crowd and talk to the people and let people know kind of like what Souls of Mischief is all about. Is that something that you developed over time, or you just always know this is how I'm gonna make sure I put it down and reach the people?
Oh yeah, definitely something that it takes time to kind of get to this point. I think in the beginning it was just youthful exuberance, and as time had passed through the ups and downs of this life and whatever else, you know what I mean. Like we kind of settled into a space to where we feel very humbled by the fact that people even listen to our music. So just recently, we just found out that 93 Tim Infinity went gold. And like not long after that, we found out it went platinum. And we trying to go double platinum. You know what I mean? And so this is when you talk about like a long storied career. That's what it's about. And we just look to the people that inspired us. You know what I mean? And seeing what they did. We was just recently able to go on tour with Cypress Hill. And Cypress Hill is just like next level. They got. If you look at Hieroglyphics, we try to kind of cultivate that same relationship with our fans to where it's like they know that we got love and respect for them, and they got love and respect for us, and it's just like it's a very cohesive relationship. And so even still now, we going on tour with some of these cats. Cypress Hill got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and whatever. Absolutely. So I'm still learning even now, even though we've been in the game for 30 plus years or whatever. So we just got a passion and a love for the culture, hip hop, and all that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think what it is we feel very fortunate. We're very humbled to be able to do what we love, and we just don't take it for granted. So every time we go out there, it's like, man, this might you know, we act like this might be the last time we ever get on stage.
Y'all give it up like that without question.
And we don't try to force it. Like, we don't try to get out there and just start screaming or whatever. But what we try to do is just kind of communicate, like, hey, this is it's a relationship. If you know anything about Souls and Mischief, we come from the crowd. We've been in the crowd. We watch shows. We love to go to concerts. We still go to shows even now. You know what I mean? So like, in my mind, I'm like, if I was in the crowd, this is what I want to see. Absolutely. So I just try to get at people, as me as a fan of hip hop or whatever, like, what would I want if I'm seeing a group that I like and I rock with? You know what I mean? And so, you know, for a long time, we would try to play it off like, you know, people would be like, yo, Souls and Mischief, y'all dope, da, 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 da. But we always tried to kind of downplay ourselves. And after a long time, we just started to kind of be like, no, we'd have to have ownership of this, because we do actually represent something that's very important in hip hop. And we have a responsibility at the same time to kind of bring it, you know, to bring that energy and to try to like basically just give it our all the time. You know what I mean? But we love to do it. We fortunate, man. We humble.
I want to ask you two questions, because I know you got moves to make, so I'm not gonna hold you too much. But I want to ask you two questions. And my first question is that I wonder if you ever get annoyed the way that I get annoyed. Because let's say if I go to a joint where it's like a spot that plays hip hop, and we looking for these joints, and they always know to like, okay, let me put on 93 Till, right? But as a cat like me that love hip hop, that, you know what I'm saying, know about y'all music and y'all material, like, I'm like, why they didn't play You'll Never Know? Why they didn't dig into this bag? Because, you know what I'm saying, that shows like, you know, the history when it comes to the music. Does it ever bother you that it's always 93 Till Infinity and not all of the other joints that were just really kind of like equally as dope?
Yeah. Actually, you know, not at all. So like, there was a time, and I was
that should be having me tight. Personally.
So when I was a young man and I was just, you know, doing my thing, and you know, this early in our career, we just looked at like what I did that's old now, and I'm just trying to move on to the next thing. And so what we learned is that there are artists that have spent their whole careers, you know, forever just hoping and praying that maybe they might be able to do one song that somebody might halfway like. So we got something that people love and respect. You know what I mean? And so just knowing that and just kind of respecting that is why we appreciate it. Now, do I want to, if I'm just chilling somewhere and somebody play that song, like, I'm kind of like, damn, I don't necessarily want to hear that myself right now. And I'm not such an egomaniac that if someone's like, I don't like that song or whatever, that I feel like, yo, you need to respect, da, 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 you know what I'm saying? But I do feel like it's a business card to where if you like that song, now you can get into some of our more music. And we got new songs even now to this day that I think if you like 93 Till Infinity and you go through the whole entire catalog of Souls and Mischief, you don't just go through the surface level to just that one song. Like, especially now, people look like streaming and they're just like, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs that you need to know.
Listed.
We got hundreds of joints. So if you dive into our catalog, you will see like, man, we got a lot of joints. You know what I'm saying? So like, I hear what you're saying in terms of like,
I'm a listener. So
I feel you. I totally understand what you mean, but like, I just learned over time to just be so appreciative of the fact that I have a song that people like and they rock with. And I'm just like, man, I'm just humbled by it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do wish people would kind of go beyond that and kind of dive into some of our other music.
That's where I'm at.
We got, you know, like I said, we got a whole remix album with Ali Shaheed Muhammad from A Tribe Called Quest. We got a whole, you know, analog record that we did with Adrian Young. We got Busta Rhymes on the album, blah, blah, blah. Like, so we got joints. We got a whole album with Prince Paul. So it's like, it's a lot of things that I think a lot of people don't know about. But if they dive into the music, I think
they'll get there.
They'll get there.
Lastly, my last question is, how you feel about hip hop culture as it stands right now? Where we at with it?
I think that, you know, throughout every kind of era where hip hop was, you know, like I kind of remember there maybe like, you know, the mid 2000s, a lot of cats was like, man, hip hop is whack now. It's starting to get too jiggy, shiny suits and whoopie whoop whoop. But you know, you had MF Doom, you had Madlib, you had Jay Dilla, you had ill shit coming out, and people were sleeping on that. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you just kind of close your mind to what you only like right now and like what you like nostalgically, and you don't really open your mind to what's going on musically in the present time, you're gonna miss out on a lot of like stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, even though I don't like the corporate entities kind of taking over and trying to just push, you know, what you see, but it was the same shit. I wasn't really down with Vanilla Ice like that. You know what I mean? They was pushing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, that was a long time ago. So I think if it's up to me, man, I love what's going on, but I like, you know, there's artists out there that's very talented right now. You know what I'm saying? That's doing that thing. You feel me? For sure.
Bless.
All right.
My dude, I so appreciate you coming on the platform real quick and having these quick words with me that I can put this out for the people and let them know that Souls of Mischief is definitely the group that's still popping. Y'all got the same type of energy I had. What, I want to say 20, but I think it's a little bit more. I don't want to call out your age. So thank you for gracing me with your words, you know what I'm saying, and this quick build. So for those that know who, this was the interview I got with the God Opio, Peace to the God O,
my brother,
Souls of Mischief, Festo, Taj, A+, DJ Lazy Boy that just shut shit down on the ones and twos. We was over here at ATL City Winery, and it was definitely a blessed show. Big shout out to the guard Rashid Chappelle for helping me to put this together, because he definitely reached out to everybody and was like, yo, look out for the guard so we can get his little 1-2 thing on. So I appreciate you very much, Rashid Chappelle. So with that being said, therefore say no more. It's the Garden of Builders Majestic. It's the G1 Truth Podcast. You know the campaign, you know the slogan. I go everywhere, I eat everything, I talk to everybody. I'm out here cooling with the God Opio. Souls of Mischief business is in full effect. Check for that new album. What's the name of that joint real quick?
It's
the EP, Getaway, right?
EP. Clean Getaway. It's an EP.
Clean Getaway. EP.
September 25th, man. Check that out.
Lock in. Y'all know what it is. Brought in the building. Blah.
Linking on my brain. Okay.